because there's still ammunition in the magazines. This has been the kind of thing that's been tripping guys up all over the state. DNR, state police are enforcing this, saying that a loaded magazine means a loaded rifle. So that's an issue we're looking at. We're looking for co-sponsors on both of those bills. The other one is school carry. It's my belief that some version of school carry is going to be passed out of the House this session.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to go through the Senate.
Okay, I haven't seen actual legislation. I've talked to local law enforcement officers that I know personally that just say, you know, if I'm an off-duty officer at my child's sporting event, I would like to be able to carry my weapon because it's better that a trained, you know, person trained that knows how to operate the weapon given, you know, an unexpected situation arises. Would you prefer that rather than, you know, I mean, so we can shape this for those people that are concerned in such a way that it's done in a safe manner, I suppose. But I'm interested in whatever legislation, if you have other language that's out there.
What we have is a bill that says basically if you have a concealed carry permit, you should get the same exemption to law enforcement.
Okay.
And our justification for that is if somebody's intent upon shooting up a school, what's the difference between the law, which really just means another year on a multi-20-year sentence? What's that matter to somebody who's going to do that? It doesn't factor into their thinking. Some of the pushback that you as a delegate would get potentially from the Gazette would be, well, it's unsafe to have firearms in schools, except if you go and look, there has not been, to my knowledge, a single accidental discharge in the state of West Virginia by a permit holder resulting in injury. I don't know that we've had one at all. So people's guns don't just go off.
Right.
And there are 92,000 permits issued in West Virginia. There are 92,000 people out there running around at their jobs with firearms, and nobody's getting shot. Right.
Well, actually, one of the things that I've been interested in is I've gone to the State Board of Education, and they are getting numbers for me about all the all the schools in the state that have are called pro officers, but that have which obviously are funded through private entities or county or municipal. You know, I know, like for instance, South Charleston's is funded. I don't know if it is currently, but was funded through the prosecuting attorney's office at one time. Right. So each year they try to find a new funding source for that. But I'm interested in seeing how many of our schools actually already have those officers there. But certainly I'm a friend of the issue, absolutely. So.
Another issue, something else to consider when you're talking about law enforcement. There's a perception among the legislature that for some reason it's better to have law enforcement than, say, teachers or principals. And the reality is that if it comes down to brass tacks, cops can't shoot. There are people in this room that are far better trained than just about every law enforcement officer in this state. Their hit ratio, law enforcement hit ratio is 11%.
Might be a better shot.
You
Probably are.
And we can probably prove it.
And it's safer for the children.
Yeah. So law enforcement hit ratio is 11%. They are not the end-all be-all.
I have not heard.
It goes back to, you mentioned about people that are proficient and trained in carrying firearms.
Right.
If anybody doesn't carry out themselves, who in this room has a concealed carry permit? Okay?
An instructor to get an rifle.
All right. Now, please raise your hand if you've had at least 1 hour of hands-on training with a firearm. 2 hours? 3 hours? 4 hours? 5 hours? 6 hours? Okay, let's jump. Anybody had more than 10 hours of firearms experience training? Yeah.
Military.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, rifle training goes high, so those classes run long.
There you go.
So the point is that the law already requires training to be a requisite to get a permit. So when we talk about permit holders, the vast majority have had a basic 8-hour minimum training, and many of you've seen have had well over that.
Right. You may be able to educate me on this as well. Just in the 35th District for Saginaw County, how many licensed instructors are there? I've actually spoken to a few. There may be a few among the room. What are the requirements to be an instructor?
I'm aware of about, I mean, this is just my ones I know, counting myself, I think there are 6 to 8 NRA certified instructors. And the qualifications, you're talking about to teach the class?
Yes.
The qualifications are what is it, Lou, a 16, 18 hour?
It's a 10-hour course.
The instructor course is
The
10 hours?
NRA is a 10-hour
Also
course.
prerequisites.
Mine was 16, I wonder what I did wrong.
Well, it depends on what,
Or for training.
no, I teach
Basic
2 days.
pistol?
I teach 2 days. I cover what's mandatory, then I go a little bit further with that. But, you know, really, it depends on what type of individual training the person wants. If you just want enough certification to get your carry permit, you take the NRA basic pistol class and you get certified, and it's perfectly acceptable. But if you want to take it to different levels, you know, there's a lot of different instruction levels out there. But just for the concealed carry, the NRA course is good. It's a 10-hour course.
If I may.
The instructor course, from my experience, the people who are instructors have 20+ years experience before they go. Well, if school safety is the issue, you have to take a three-pronged approach. I mean, we're for the strongest deterrent is an attacker doesn't know who's armed.
That's right. That works. That works. They just suspect there is.
I think you will need a visible deterrent, which is your school resource officer. Now, if you don't do the first option and your resource officer is the only guy there, they just shoot him first. And then you need to actually harden the facilities. And now you're talking about cost.
And the thing is, you don't have to have two of these individuals in each school. You could have a team, and they rotate from school to school to school. They're at this school one day, then this school, then this school.
And only the team don't want to be
And
recognized.
only the team knows the schedule. They're completely anonymous. They blend in. They help the kids cross the streets. They do all this stuff. The idea is that you don't know when and you don't know where, but you do know they're there.
Silent service.
Exactly.
Yes. They'll be, and safer for those individuals.
They're
safer
concealed
for the
carry
children.
people.
Now, I've heard from teachers in Kanawha that will not come out and say that they're afraid of the union. They want permits. They want to be able to carry in school and would do so safely. But they fear the union, so they're afraid of a backdoor blackball that they'll never get off. To the end of their career, if they're walking around with us.
You don't walk the fine line.
Yeah.
And it's not just handing out guns to you and saying, well, best of luck if someone walks in the building.
This is the school carry bill. That's the whole change right there. They just, like I said, the same exemption that law enforcement.